Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jason here, your strength and confidence coach, and today I'm super excited to bring to you the fourth essential habit to fat loss, which is protein intake. Now, this advice right here is going to be something that saves you tons of frustration with having a hard time getting enough protein, and also may solve some of your biggest hunger problems, so that way you can finally get that six-pack you've always wanted and then start to achieve that confidence that you've been trying to get. So let's break it down with why do we want to increase our protein intake. Well, first and foremost, if you've seen some of my other videos before and maybe you're a client of mine, you get into strength training, and you've probably heard this from me many times. I'm always a fan of strength training, building muscle in order to improve that metabolism. What is going to help aid in that recovery when we are working out? Protein. It's going to aid in the recovery of our muscle fibers. That way, when we break down our muscles from the weight training, we're able to replenish them back with our adequate protein intake. And also, there are some other benefits along with that protein intake, which provides a higher level of satiation. Where do you think would make you, what do you think would make you more hungry? A bag of potato chips, or maybe something like a piece of steak? If you were to take 200 calories from, let's say, ground turkey, and you take 200 calories from ice cream, what do you think is going to fill you up more? If you heard me talk about nutrition before, then you know that a calorie deficit is how you go about losing body fat. So if we can spend our budget, which is our calories, in an adequate way, we'll be able to actually have less hunger, less cravings with the same amount of calories that we'd be eating. Rather than having a bunch of chips and ice cream, we can try to eat more protein. That way 300 calories will go a lot farther. And also, along with that, it has a high thermic effect, which means that it actually burns more calories. Your gut breaks down macronutrients that you eat, and protein is a slower digestion macronutrient, and that makes you burn more calories over time. And it's not that big of a difference, but if you stack it up on a daily basis with multiple meals, then you are going to find a huge increase in how many calories that you burn a day, maximizing the efficiency of your workouts and nutrition, so you're able to burn more calories every single day, so we can look at sustained fat loss. So how much protein should we be getting in? The recommendation is usually about 0.75 grams to 1.25 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So what does that look like? I just gave some examples here for male and female. Hey, if you are a 140-pound female, let's say, you should be in the range of about 105 to 175 grams of protein. And if you're a 180-pound male, then your range should be anywhere between 135 to 225 grams of protein. That is usually enough to help you stay satiated and also help you with the other benefits we talked about, like the high thermic effect and the aid in recovery for your muscles. Now, where can we get this protein? Now, I'm going to give you guys some recommendations, and then you can work off of what you feel like is going to work best for your lifestyle. So I basically just broke it down into 3 categories. We have our meat section, which is essentially just chicken, turkey, beef, steak, venison, or ham. Also, just a good rule of thumb is to try to have some amount of protein in every single meal that you eat. That way you don't have to eat like 100 grams in one sitting, and also by distributing the protein out throughout the day, you'll probably find that your hunger levels are a little bit more controlled. So you got your meats and your dairy, you have your eggs, which I'm going to count as dairy. Then you have skim milk is a lower calorie option, and you have low fat cheese and whey protein. Now, some people don't really work that well with lactose. It may cause some gut inflammation, it may cause some discomfort. Some people just don't work with it, but some people do. And I think that if you are an average person, you don't have any sort of stomach issues, you can take in a small amount of skim milk or lower fat cheese, maybe even throw that in onto the eggs in order to increase your protein intake. Because when you can be concerned about the fat content, if we go for these lower fat options, it actually turns into more of a protein source, which is great. Then whey protein is a very convenient source of protein. All you need to do is get the powder, which if you go on most websites and you look for coupons or deals, or you look on Amazon, then you most likely will find a whey protein that is affordable and provides you a very convenient snack and a good source of protein from that. So if you do have a hard time hitting that protein intake goal, which you're talking about 0.75 to 1.25 grams of protein per pound of body weight, you may find that getting a whey protein supplement is helpful to you. And then I also threw in some vegan options. You can reach adequate protein intakes as a vegan, or by getting most of your food in through a plant-based diet with things like black beans, tofu, tempeh, those fake meat products, brown rice protein. If you don't really work with whey, you could do brown rice protein. You could also do a pea protein, and there's also some other vegan proteins as well that are a lot of blends, and they don't really contain lactose, so that would be a good option for somebody that doesn't either work well with whey or is a vegan. And then you also have things like lentils. So that is like the main base of like where you can get your protein from. And if you have any questions on this stuff, then leave a comment down below and we can actually go over what kind of foods we can add into your diet here. So just to sum up everything, basically why we're having our protein intake: it aids in muscle recovery, it provides a higher level of satiation, and it has a high thermic effect. How much? 0.75 to 1.25 grams of protein per pound of body weight, which would look at about, these are some examples here, 140-pound female can get about 105 to 175 grams, a 180-pound male can get about 135 to 225 grams of protein. And then just some recommendations for some meat: chicken, turkey, beef, steak, venison, and ham. Dairy, eggs, skim milk, lower fat cheese, and whey protein. And vegan can be some black beans, tofu, lentils, tempeh, fake meat substitutes, brown rice protein. Those are some good options for vegans to have. So guys, I really hope that you enjoyed. We have one more habit left before we finish up this series here, and I hope that you guys are taking advantage of these habits and that you started to maybe implement a little bit more into your life, because if you're able to lock down these 5 habits, you'll really find that over time and over a long period of time, you're able to burn a lot of fat and you're also able to keep it off. So I'm really excited to pop in the 5th habit. I think it's going to be one of the most important. It's all about that mindset going into your fat loss program. So, alright, so that's going to be the end of the video here. Stay tuned for the 5th habit, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day.